All right, great morning to you. Thank you for joining us and thank you for tuning in to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio and your state number one family radio station. We're broadcasting live from Wells Broadcasting House along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan, the capital of your state. Good morning to you. This is Perspectives Unlimited. Today is Friday, the 30th day in the month of January 2026. And to God be the glory. It's the last Friday of the month of January. One more day to go. That's tomorrow, Saturday. And then we step into the month of love, which a lot of people have been looking forward to. So congratulations to all of us. Once again, thank God for the gift of life that we have, and of course the gift of completion to be able to, see the end of the month of January 2026. One down, by the grace of God, and 11 more to go. The grace for that will be received. Once again, you're welcome to the program. This is Perspectives Unlimited, where we take you through the top stories making the rounds in our nation. For today, we help you understand that better with in-depth analysis, while we also give you the privilege and the opportunity to call into the studio to share your own thought, views, and perspectives on the nation, Nigeria. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. Once again, you're welcome. From our studio right now, it is 6:37 a.m. this morning. Are you set for work? If you're not an entrepreneur, then you need to meet up with the 8 o'clock time at 7:45 and whatever time it is the case for you. Let's do that as fast as we can. Tomorrow we rest, but today we work. Right in front of us today, we have the Punch, the Vanguard, and of course the Nigerian Tribune. From the three dailies, we're going to take the headline stories first, and right after that, we dive straight into the in-depth analysis to help you understand the stories better. Please stay with us. Let's start with the Punch newspaper, shall we? On page 2, 2027, Oshomole Tambuwa on Senate high stakes Electoral Act review. 2027, Oshomole Tambuwa and on Senate high stakes Electoral Act review panel. Also moving on to page 28, $750 million World Bank loan, federal government may raise taxes on alcohol, cigarette. On page 28, federal government may raise taxes on alcohol and cigarette in line with the $750 million World Bank loan. I would definitely love to talk about the story. On page 21, federal government's 9 trillion naira domestic loan surge drains lifeline for businesses. The writer to the story says private sector lending falls as federal government's domestic borrowing jumps 152%. Economist says stricter loan rules choking off business funding. You find that on page 21 of the Punch for today. It's the major story actually on the Punch. On page 29, APC engaging Wike to resolve Rivers crisis, says Bashiru. On page 29. And on page 22, meter cost spark disco. Federal government showdown on tariffs. Meter cost spark disco. Federal government showdown on tariff. And of course, finally, on the foreign scene, plane crash kill Colombian lawmaker, 14 orders. Very sad story right there. Let's move on to the Vanguard. All right, on the Vanguard for today, moving on to the Vanguard newspaper for this morning. Let's start with page 19. Nigeria's telecoms industry attracted over $1 billion in 2025. That story is coming from the NCC. Northern Can Christian leaders reject call for removal of INEC chairman on page 9. On the same page, reps pass 2026 58.18 trillion budget for second reading. On page 8, Electoral Act, Senate sets up committee to galvanize opinion of senators on page 8. And on page 5, the major story, petrol to cost more as crude oil prices rises further. Petrol PMS to cost more as crude oil prices rise or moves higher. Bonnie Light hit $70.30. U.S. crude investment fall as tension in Middle East heighten. Diesel prices go up. Petrol remained unchanged. Expert pressure on business and households, says expert. And of course, on page 14 in entertainment, clash by Wizkid, Seun Kuti over Fela's legacy refuses to fade. On page 6, over 160 members held by kidnappers in Kogi and Kaduna, says ECWA, as church condemns Kajuru attack, worsening insecurity. And in sport, AFCON final saga, CAF hammer falls on Senegal, Morocco. And of course, the photo story here is that of Chibuike Echebe, and then the national coordinator of the Multi-Sectoral Crisis Recovery Project, Northeast Development Commission, Halaji Danjuma Mohammed, after the arraignment by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, over alleged 2.2 billion fraud in Abuja on Tuesday. You find that picture on the front page of the Vanguard, carrying that placard on their hands. That's a big one there. Now, staying with the Nigerian Tribune very quickly, Nigeria on recovery spray strengthening against major currencies. On page 21, Rivers APC discussing with Wike to resolve issues, Bashiro, the National Secretary, says. And on page 27, FCT workers appeal industrial court ruling, resume strike on page 27. 2027, waiting game persists as Senate delays Electoral Act bill, defers action till Tuesday, raises mini committee to distill senators' views, reps step down consideration of outstanding clauses. Still on the Nigerian Tribune, on page 6, 4 leaders set for strategic decision as recapitalization deadline approaches. And on page 8, we will create more institutions to make Oyo greater, says Makinde. On page 22, Borno Gov orders direct payment of local government allocations. On page 3, Opposition Alliance will chase APC out in 2027, says Bulba Galadima, says opposition ready to queue behind most popular candidate. Kano Gov must submit NNPP's mandate before defection, he adds. And finally, in health, scientists develop injection that repairs brain after stroke. That story is on page 3, and it's the health story this morning on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. That's all we can take with the headlines. Thank you once again for joining the show. Perspectives Unlimited. We're about to dive straight into conversation. Stay with us.
goes to the State House of Assembly, which is a body of elected representatives. Now, a few of them came out to address the crowd, and the crowd was like, look, we're on the road. You designed the House of Assembly to have a place where citizens can be addressed. There's an amphitheater in there. We want to come in so all of us can be addressed and we can be seated. They said no, that because they can't guarantee what would happen, anything can happen, destruction, so they wanted representatives. And the protesters said no, that we're all elected, we're all citizens, and we don't want to send people. So the House of Rep members got upset and walked away. I was there, tear gas in my face, tear gas in my throat. Other people had that, would cough somebody. I mean, quite a number of people talked about their chest still paining them. At least 2 people where you can sustain injuries that require them being taken to a hospital. Then you have 2 people, well, about, I think 5 or 6 people that are arrested. 4 of them have been released. 2 of them are still in the custody of police. For a lot of people, what happened to the gentleman seemed like a gunshot wound. But I will say this, that all that I'm aware of that happened yesterday was tear gas. Now, I think for some of the journalists complained that it was shot so close to people standing that someone might have been injured by a canister that then felt like a gunshot wound.
Look at the massive infrastructure development that we're doing. Where does the money come from? So when people cannot be realistic and begin to align themselves with politicians, then we will not allow it. There's no amount of blackmail. There's no amount of insults that anybody can begin to say and that will touch me. No, if they should know my record. No, what is right is what is right. What is wrong is wrong. You can't intimidate the administration, blackmail anybody. I had somebody say yesterday, oh, the workers were chasing me away. Where was that? I was in the office here. I finished working. At the time I came into the office, there was nobody at the gate. I left to the airport to see Mr. President travel to Turkey. Came back. So where are they getting this information if they are not blackmailers or who have been hired by politicians? The moment you don't longer act as a worker, you now work as a politician, then I face you. I will treat you the way politicians have been treated. The court has cut off. If anybody dares again to block the gate, we use the person as scapegoat. Because you must obey the law. We're in a democracy, we're not a military government. If we're in a military government, obviously, we will not allow the strike. But we say the democracy, go and ventilate. And we have to go to court. Let the court look at it dispassionately. Who is wrong, who is right? Not necessarily what you sell out to members, turn out to members of the public, you remove Wike. What has that got to do with it? If Wike is removed, will you be the one here? So you leave what you're supposed to do, and you begin to convert for a different thing. So I felt it is necessary. We know a lot of black legs. We know even some directors who are part of it. We know. Because things are no longer the same. It's no longer business as usual. Here, directors before were awarding contracts left and center. And now we said, no, that cannot happen again. Then they begin to instigate workers who don't agree. We have so much money. Where's the money you have?
All right, welcome back to the program Perspectives Unlimited. Good morning to you once again. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. Let's get straight to the conversation. But before then, our analyst is right in the studio to help us make sense of them all. Good morning, Mr. Lalikosani. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Chief. I am doing well. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you. Let me hear your voice again.
That's good.
I'm not sure I heard it the first time.
Oh, okay. Good morning to you, Chief. I am doing well. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you. Now I can hear you. It's a long week. Nigeria drama stories. But that's our work, so we must do it. I want us to start with the Makoko or Shaki demolitions. Of course, I've been following the Makoko, story for a while. One of the reasons that I love to, go past the Third Mainland Bridge is because I would see Makoko, to be honest. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's such a view, from the bridge. It's just such a view. I don't know whether to call it beautiful, but it's just such a view, especially during Harmattan. You just realize that there's something going on in there. I've been there once, and it's also very interesting to see the quality of life that goes on in there. How people live on water like as if they're walking on land. It's the carefree nature, like no one is going to drop. And if anyone drops, such a person is going to swim out. People selling puff and all of that inside the canoe. You just see another life on water. And then, of course, the process and all that is going on lately, the setback because of the power line. This didn't start today, but let's see what is going on now. Demolition, that has started. But the flip side of that is that these people have nowhere to go and currently also still live in their canoes on water, making, some form of a makeshift cover on the canoe and on water. And of course, the protests and the tear gas and all of the other things that make up that story or made up that story right up until now and what we're saying. Let me get your thought on that. And of course, the alleged shooting in some quarters, and most importantly, of course, the police agreed to the tear gas and that for that protest. Let's get your view.
Thank you very much, Chief. We had this convo yesterday, your partner and I, your colleague and I, and I made it abundantly clear that the government of Lagos State actually made a very big mistake by tearing that place down. I do not believe that those people were enjoying the best of life. Things could be better. Things needed to be better. But tearing that place down was a very, very big blunder, and I'll tell you why. The truth of the matter is that you said something which is instructive, that anytime you were on the third mainland, sometimes you even went to the third mainland so that you could see these people. They were living a different type of life there, something totally strange, something that will marvel anybody. Didn't the Lagos State government think that they could generate revenue from those people by reconstructing the entire landscape, making it a more sturdy, more rigid, more solid, something that can actually withstand the wave of the lagoon, such that it will attract people from all over the world? If it could have attracted you being a Nigerian, guess what it would do to people who are outside of this country in the name of tourism? The Lagos State government is going to generate a lot of money from that because it's going to bring up a lot of traffic. It's going to increase hotel accommodation rate. It's going to increase traffic inflow. I'm talking about airport activities here. And for the people who live in that community, they are going to, like you said, puff. If they can be more hygienic with it, people from abroad, you go to the chop puff. If should they come here and they see people frying something, they will be interested to say, okay, let me have a bite of that. That's one. Hats, they will sell hats. They will sell agbada, adire. Things like this are very, very important to the white folks. These are things that the Lagos State government could have done, but they didn't do that. It's about destroy, and that is why the country is like this. I don't think these people have a type of brain that looks forward. In all seriousness, it's disappointing that in 2026, what you will be talking about as a government is destruction instead of rebuilding. They could have helped those people out.
Let's look at what the government says.
Okay.
Of course, obviously, we all can see that there's a power line, standing in there. And even before now, you can also see that houses and some of these makeshift buildings, they are also right under the power line.
Okay.
Yes, that's a thing, and safety is also a concern.
Okay.
For those who have been to Makoko, you would agree with me that the quality of life, especially with hygiene, is nothing to write home about. Some people just have some square created in their makeshift, and that's where they do their convenience. And the whole thing just pops in there, and children swim in the same water. It has also become a center of attraction for, international organization, for charity and the likes. And I know that the Lagos State government has said, hey, some of these grants can also be linked to corrupt practices, to siphon money and the likes, all in the name of, hey, some form of relief in Makoko and the likes. But do you think this is just about the power line? There have been allegations in some quarters that right after this demolition, some form of island may just spring up right there. As some section of it, some
Carved
filling,
out.
have started,
Yes.
going on in that area. Do you think this is about power line? I could mention a few locations that seemed like the government had real intentions for the people, but eventually they all became some highbrow residential areas in Lagos State. Is that going to be the same for Makoko?
I bet it would use the next Eco Atlantic. It is the next Eco Atlantic where a plot of land is going to go for as high as 2 billion naira. Just one plot of land. That's that on one side. Let's now talk about, let's address, let's deconstruct what they are coming up with. You are saying power line. Yes, that's a valid point. But can you count the number of roads that power lines cut across? Just down the road here, just a couple of meters from here, a power line crosses the road and nothing is happening. Yes, there are things you can do. I have been to some parts of the world where if you have power lines flying across town where people are, they will now construct a form of, that thing is not metal, it's not plastic, I don't know the name of the material. They will now run another section of line directly under the power line. That should the power line cut or should anything happen to it, it's not going to fall on the ground. It is going to fall on that platform. Couldn't they have done that? These guys travel abroad. They see these things. But when they come here, it's not about that. It's about destroy and grab, destroy and grab, destroy and grab. I mean, it's not making sense. Let's now go to what the state government and what the police of Lagos State are saying. I am thoroughly disappointed in the Commissioner of Lagos State. He's a big bundle of shame. I'm talking about Moshood Jimoh here. I mean, this is someone I've actually known for quite some time. When he was PRO of the Nigeria Police Force, he made a very big mess of it. Then he couldn't even construct good English, and he was made PRO of the Nigeria Police Force. Let's now talk about what happened on that particular day. These guys came to protest at the House of Assembly complex, not House of Reps like the previous analyst was saying, the tape you played. House of Assembly of Lagos State. If you know the place very well, it's by a major road. And if you have been there, I've been inside on multiple occasions, there are many places where people can assemble and have a conversation with the House of Assembly members. But because of the negative mindset that these people had and still have, they said, don't come inside. If you don't come inside, where are you going to stay if not on the road? They now said they had to disperse them simply because they were blocking the rights of other road users. If you didn't want that to happen, you would have brought them inside. There are motor parks there. There are free places where people can assemble and do their business there. You said, don't come inside, knowing too well that you wanted to use the idea of, oh, they are blocking other people's rights to use the road, and for that reason, you cannot allow that to happen. That's foolishness.
Let's look at, of course, issues in Lagos State and generally issues around protests in Nigeria. During the NSAS, Lagos would not forget, and how a simple protest can easily, go violent the next minute. By not allowing them access into the State House of Assembly, maybe on the heels of, hey, this could, escalate into greater things. Would you want to blame the police for that, or would you expect them at least to have managed the protest, even if it were to be outside, in a better way? I would also want us to cast our mind back to some of the issues that have happened in the past, where very little protest, became a serious issue, where, protesters eventually now started damaging basic amenities in the state.
Thank you very much. Let's go back to the most recent one, if I'm not mistaken, end bad governance protest. It happened in Lagos, it happened in many other parts of the country. I was not in Lagos then, but I saw everything on TV. People assembled by the road. The culverts, the road dividers, the walk platforms. These are the places people assembled. Nobody blocked an inch of the road. until police officers came and they opened fire on them. If police officers had not opened fire on them, nobody would have been on the road. It shows to me that the people who were protesting were better trained and better disciplined by people more than people we actually give arms. I'm talking about guns and things like that in this country, and that is shameful. Yes, NSAS is a valid reference, but what exactly led to NSAS? NSAS was not, in my opinion, it wasn't a protest. It was a revolution. You protest when you don't like something. I mean, find a way to correct what's on the ground. That's a protest. When you revolt, it means that we are tired of this and we don't want it anymore. The people then were tired of police brutality. Police officers shot somebody dead in the other state simply because they wanted him. I mean, it was a case of thieves running after thieves, in my opinion. A Yahoo boy, and people wanted to collect money from a Yahoo boy, and before you know what was happening, everybody took it up. That enough is enough. So the foundation of these two things are not the same. It was a case of Nigeria police, we won't show you case, we won't make you not get sense. That was what they did during NSAS. And it wasn't just an action. It was a reaction to an action. So if you want to say, let's now talk about NSAS, no, it would be unfair. Why not talk about what led to NSAS in the first instance? That is it. I am saying, and I continue to say it, the Lagos State Police Command was totally wrong in the way they handled that drama on Monday. And it shows to the whole world that should the Nigeria police choose between the people and a few clowns, the Nigeria police would certainly choose to go with the politicians and not with the people. Later on, these people will say, we are your friends. And if you say anything, say something. Seriously? The last time I wanted to come and say something, did you allow me to say anything?
All right. Let's take a break. When we come back right after this break, we're going to, talk about the FCTA. And, of course, good enough, that's in the news. Today, you heard the voice of Wike. When we come back, I'll play that again. FCTA workers resume strike as Wike wants appeal doesn't halt court ruling. And finally, we're going to talk about the absence of the Alafin of Oyo at the opening ceremony of Oyo at 50. Which, of course, the week is still going on. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll look at that and more. Stay with us.
Christ Ambassadors International College, private co-educational Christian day and boarding school located at Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. We offer a blend of Nigerian and British curricula designed to nurture global leaders with godly values, with world-class facilities, exciting co-curricular programs, exceptional pastoral care, and outstanding academic results. We ensure your child's dream becomes a reality. Our entrance examination for 2026-2027 academic session will hold on Saturday, 14th February 2026 at 8 a.m. For inquiries, please call 0704-530-8414 or 0814-177-2806 or visit www.christambassadorscollege.com. Christ Ambassadors International College, nurturing global and godly scholars.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811-223-2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Are you hungry for something delicious? Food that feels like home but tastes like pure luxury? Then welcome to Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile. From our smoky jollof to rich ofada sauce to a variety of delicious soups like egusi, eforiro, and more, paired with your favorite proteins and hot, freshly made swallows, all made for you to enjoy. We also handle bulk orders in liters, fresh and ready whenever you need it, with delivery to your doorstep. At Honeydew, it's not just the food, it's the feel. With our beautiful ambience, perfect for your romantic dates, family outings, or your quiet, relaxing evening escape. Join us every last Friday of the month at 7 p.m. for karaoke night with Jayola and enjoy music, games, food, drinks, and free mocktails and cocktails as you sing your hearts out. Visit us at Plot 42, Block 8, Alaafin Avenue, beside Wells Radio, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. For your doorstep delivery or inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0814-691-6635, 0814-691-6635. Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Wells Radio, 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Look at the massive infrastructure development that we're doing. Where does the money come from? So when people cannot be realistic and begin to align themselves with politicians, then we will not allow it. There's no amount of blackmail. There's no amount of insults that anybody can begin to say and that will touch me. No. If they should know my record. No. What is right is what is right. What is wrong is wrong. You can't intimidate the administration, blackmail anybody. I had somebody say yesterday, the workers were chasing me away. Where was that? I was in the office here. I finished working. After the time I came into the office, there was nobody at the gate. I left to the airport to see if Mr. President traveled to Turkey. Came back. So where are they getting this information if they are not blackmailers or who have been hired by politicians? The moment you don't longer act as a worker, you now work as a politician, then I face you. I will treat you the way politicians have been treated. The court has cut off. If anybody dares again to block the gate, we use the person as scapegoat because you must obey the law. We're a democracy, we're not a military government. If we're a military government, obviously, we will not allow the strike. But we say the democracy, go and ventilate. And we have to go to court. Let the court look at it dispassionately. Who is wrong, who is right? Not necessarily what you sell out to members, turn out to members of the public, you remove Wike. What has that got to do with it? If Wike is removed, will you be the one here? So you leave what you're supposed to do, and you begin to convert for different things. So I felt it is necessary. We know a lot of black legs. We know even some directors who are part of it. We know. Because things are no longer the same. It's no longer business as usual. Here, directors before were awarding contracts left, right, and center. And now we said, no, that cannot happen again.
Welcome back. Workers of the Federal Capital Territory, FCTA, under the Joint Union Action Committee yesterday resumed the indefinite strike that began on the 19th of January over the unresolved welfare issues after appealing the ruling National Industrial Court ruling ordering the suspension of the industrial action. Only a few workers were seen at the FCTA Secretariat, department, and agencies as most complied with the directive to stay at home. The union had filed an appeal against the court on the 27th of January, ruling through its lead counsel, Femi Falana SAN. The matter has been adjourned until the 23rd of March. Let's talk about what's going on at the FCTA. And of course, the statement of the FCTA president, it was alleged that, people ran after his car, sent him out of the building or whatever. And then he just responded to that, hey, he was in his office. Went to see the president before taking his flight to Turkey and back. So where did all of that happen? Let me get your reaction very quickly, as we still have so many stories on the table.
Thank you
today.
Thank you very much, Chief. Let's deconstruct once again what Wike said. He said he was in his office and that he had to leave office to follow the president to the airport. Let me start from that. Is that thing not embarrassing? Where in the world does that happen, apart from Nigeria, maybe other parts of Africa? Have you ever seen the president of the United States traveling and see secretaries of government lining the road to have a handshake with the president before he leaves the country? It doesn't happen anywhere. But in Nigeria, governors, ministers, service chiefs, they will now line up like Almajiri children begging for hams. Man, it's annoying. That's that. Let's go back to what Wike said, that he wasn't chased out of his office. I mean, that's a very big, fat and tall lie. He needs to stop lying. They were actually running after him. The cars were blazing out of the office. And the people there were shouting, Uli, 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 Uli. I heard that with my eyes. I mean, I wasn't in Abuja on a particular day, but I saw the video. Uli, 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 Uli. And this guy is spread off. That's number one.
Okay, can we confirm that Wike was in the vehicle?
He was there. These are people who man the gates. They know who came in. They know who goes out. I mean, they know who comes in at any point in time. They know who goes out at any point in time. Let's now go to what he is saying, that there is no money in Abuja. I mean, that's a very big fat and tall lie. I mean, you cannot say that to someone like me. Abuja has what many other states don't have. Apart from the allocation they get monthly, the high GR in Abuja is huge. Apart from that, whatever the federal government makes in a year, they give them 1% of it. So they have a lot of money. And guess what? I mean, it is apparent that somebody like Wike has never managed a business in his life with what he just said. Because the idea of running a business, a successful business, is that at least, no matter how successful that business is, 25% of whatever you make goes into welfare of your staff. He is screaming around town that, he has done something huge, something that he will be paying. He just released 12 billion naira as salary package for the month of January for all FCTA staff, FCTA, FCDA, FCT, everybody in Abuja. That's a tiny section of what goes on in Abuja. I mean, financially. The budget of Abuja, the budget of FCT is over 1 trillion naira. We should be talking of at least 24 billion naira monthly. Not half of what they should be getting. And he is even, advertising this to the whole world as if he has done something so big, when in reality, it's just around half of what they should be getting. I mean, that's wrong. That is wrong. He shouldn't be doing that. And it is obvious, like I said, that since 1999, this is a guy who has been in office, from commissioner, from chairman to chief of staff, minister, governor, now minister. Man, he has never done anything in his name. As far as I'm concerned, he's a government almajiri. That's what I call people like that.
Let's talk about the absence of the Alafi and Shonwo Ogumosho, not just the Alafi, at the opening ceremony of Oyo at 50 at the International Conference Center in Ibadan. Your view on that?
I blame the governor. There are some things you don't touch. When you touch them, everything's not going to fall. But what will come afterwards are things you may not be able to manage. Kings are people who usually have ego. Because in your palace, pardon me, this is not heresy, but you are God. When you now go outside of your palace, you now have to revere another person. It's not what they usually like to do. I have seen instances where kings, prostrated before what's it called? A statue of another king. I have seen that before. But it's what they do willingly. When they believe within their mind that, okay, this guy has a far bigger throne than mine, then I just have to, give it to him. But if it's what you now make them do, whether they like it or not, they will not be totally inclined to do that. The Alaafin, as far as I'm concerned, anybody who wants to challenge that can call in this morning, is the foremost traditional ruler in Yoruba land. So you will now expect this guy to stand up because the Olubadan, somebody who started wearing crown in 1976, is coming, and clap that our chairman is coming. Sir, it will never happen. And it's the same for the Ogbomosho guy. I see no reason why Ogbomosho king should not respect some other kings in Nigeria. Should the Ogbomosho king stand before or even bow before the Alaafin, I wouldn't be surprised. But Olubadan, this is a guy that got crowned around the same time. So why should you are my peer, you are my colleague, so why should I rise because you are coming? For the Alaafin, I think it's an abomination. Nobody should even think about that. I'm not from Oyo State, but let's say it the way it is.
Where do you think this is going to end?
It's going to end a lot of litigations in court. Then go explain entire. The government cannot get anything out of it. The people of Oyo will never forgive any monarch who goes to Ibadan to rise before the Olubadan or any king in Oyo State.
If this eventually, we're already approaching 2027, if this eventually did not see the light of the day, do you see the next governor of the state after Governor Makinde going back to what he used to be?
That is, if the person is someone who is strategic, who knows exactly, in my opinion, I don't rate the governor of Oyo State high, not just on this, on a lot of things. And this has further buttressed my opinion of the guy. If the people of Oyo State eventually elect somebody who understands the network, the background, is someone who has learnt the ropes, he will deserve the board immediately. The council of Obas or whatever, just like the other people who have been doing. He will deserve it and let things remain the way. Be your chairman for your village, for your town. No, that is it.
All right, let's talk about PMS. Petrol to cost more as crude oil prices rises further on the heels of upward adjustment in the pump price of petrol. 3 days ago, Nigerians may face another round of increases following the sustained rise in crude oil prices on the international market. The price of Nigeria's Bonny crude rose from $70.30 per barrel to $64 per barrel last week, representing an increase of about 10% and the highest level recorded this year. Similarly, the price of Brent crude, which is used to benchmark other crude grade, rose to $70 per barrel from $66 per barrel, and other forms of crude from $68 per barrel to $65 per barrel. Earlier this week, petrol stations had marked up their pump prices to an average of 850 naira per litre, up by about 14.3% from 750. It was sold on Monday. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, World Radio.
Good morning, Mr. Salami from Awotan. Thank you for calling.
God bless you, my dear brother. God bless you, sir. Mr. Emmanuel, good morning. Mr. Lekonsone, good morning to you,
morning, sir.
Thank you very much for your analysis, always very, very objective. Well, for me this morning, I have to talk about the Makoko demolition.
All right.
Because why am I so interested in it? Makoko used to be in my backyard because I was born and raised in that location, precisely at Lagomich Street. So it's like I know Makoko like the back of my palm. So definitely. Now, yes, and my analysis, honestly speaking, I'll try as much as possible to be very, very objective. What I can say in this is that both sides are wrong. The residents as well as Lagos State government, they are both wrong. Honestly speaking, if you go to Makoko in the night, honestly speaking, you won't like the thing there. Makoko used to be predominantly dominated by the peasant fishermen and mostly Ilaje people and whatever. The night there is not good as well. And as you rightly said,
what happens at night? What happens at night, Mr. Salam?
Oh, good. What you see at night is not very good because the presence of all these ladies, nightclubs, drugs, drinks, when they're all manner of
that's
life.
A common problem in Nigeria.
They were always in that type of life is not really. In fact, the life there is not befitting of, honestly speaking, the status of Lagos State. That's the truth. Right. However, Lagos State too is not even doing it right. Just like Mr. Lekonsoni has said, that elsewhere there is, in fact, going by the SPs of Lagos State of power line, just a mere SPs. Of course, there are so many things government will not tell you, but what they are trying to say is to kind of sanitize the place and raise. And I think Lekonsoni has said before, in a couple of months from now, you will see max a year. You will see, mansions rising up there. What I think Lagos government should have done is to kind of plan a resettlement, have a resettlement plan for these people. Allocate like maybe about 1,000 square meters for them. Build, something like a mass estate for them. Let them make rent, so that at least there will be less of this agitation on their part. So that's why I said that they are both wrong. Residents.
Hello. Oh, we lost that call. Please do call us back to complete your thought, Mr. Salami. Let's stay with the crude story. There might be increase in PMS.
I hate to be the bringer of bad news, but there is an increase already, sir. I said here yesterday that prices had gone up, but if we were not very, very careful, they hadn't reached the bus stop. Less than 12 hours, it happened. The NNPC was selling in Abuja at the rate of 839 as of yesterday. From 739 they were selling before. And in less than 24 hours, they did that day before yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, check them, 879, extra 40 naira. The truth of the matter is that I see price gouging here. Okay.
Let's take this. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling us from.
This is Aderonke from Muslim.
Aderonke from Muslim. Thank you, Aderonke. Your thoughts?
Concerning the price in credit, just take a look at it. When are you going to be enjoying fuel? Since the removal of fuel subsidy, we have not been enjoying fuel. There will be an increase. Even if there will be a decrease, it will just be little. So, are they being a single salary is being big for us? We will be facing all these problems. So, the federal government ought to fulfill its promise. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Aderonke. Let me take it from where Aderonke stopped. Do you think
availability of
refineries, do you think it's going to help in any way?
It is not going to help what's on the ground.
Because that's for a fact. If in the minds of a lot of Nigerians. If you
have a refinery, what you are going to have is probably availability.
But and not pricing.
Availability is just like a few inches high above affordability. There was never a time there was no fuel in Nigeria. It was about, it's too expensive. I can't buy this, I can't buy this, I can't buy that. But now, people are bringing in fuel from abroad. Some people are refining locally. There is fuel everywhere. What you are going to ask yourself is, can I afford to fill my tank?
Let me ask another layman question. Just like, of course, Aderonke said, if we have the refineries, how about, yes, Nigeria has the crude. And if it's some of them, the Dangote refinery and produced locally, why then should this still be expensive? As of course, with other products, one would expect that the ones coming from outside of the nation should be more expensive because you are paying all kinds of taxes and the
logistics to move it
in. Let's look at that again. Why is that the case? When you talk about crude, you are saying, oh, Nigeria, and yet in Nigeria, it is still expensive.
Two things. Number one, I see price fixing here. These guys are not okay.
Let's take this call. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning, Mr. George. How are you today?
Yeah. Just calling you from Ologwe.
Thank you for calling, sir.
At what point are Nigerians going to benefit from the crude oil that we have within the country? When you just get up and you hear that in Venezuela, crude oil has gone up, you now come here and you increase the price of petrol. When are we going to gain from the subsidy removal from this oil that we are having that God has given to this country. These people do not care about the masses. They care about the money they want to make for themselves. And take, for example, none of them is establishing any business that is giving employment to our massive youth. None of them is putting up any investment that is benefiting the masses of this country. This is pure wickedness. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. George. Thank you so much. Let's take this comment on Facebook before you come in with your thought. Sulaiman Sharif on Facebook says, good morning and happy last Friday of the month. I am not surprised about the court granting Yahaya Bello request to attend the 2026 Les Hajj amid 80 billion naira fraud probe. I hope if Nnamdi Kanu requests for permission to attend Jerusalem, the court will grant it for him without selective judgment. We should not forget Adams Oshiomhole's statement, once you join the APC, all your sins are forgiven. Another call is on the line. Good morning to you.
Thanks so much, Mr. Emmanuel.
Oh, good morning. Please, thank you, Mr. Salami, for calling back.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. So what I would just advise Governor Sanwo-Olu is to engage the people and not by kind of ordering the police to tear gas them. Just like Governor Sanwo-Olu has been able to handle the circular road protest and what have you. So if the governor had engaged the people, honestly, there wouldn't have been all this cooler balu and what have you. But in terms of development and what have you, because Makoko, Adete, all those areas, they need a facelift. That's just it. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, so let me allow you complete your thought.
Price fixing. The first time they increased it, which was, Wednesday, Thursday.
So we have another call on the line. Good morning to you. Hello?
Yeah, George calling back.
All right, Mr. George, thank you for calling back.
I read the issue of Bello over the night, and I wonder what sort of court or what sort of presidency or what sort
Hello?
are we having?
All right.
Because I wonder, which God is Bello going to pray to there? Is it the Almighty God? Or he has another God that he wants to go and pray to there? And the government have just forgotten what happened to Gumi when he went to Saudi Arabia. Bello will go again and will bring us another shame. Nigeria to sit up.
Thank you, Mr. Judge.
Let me say something about this briefly.
The Bello story.
Don't blame the judge. Blame EFCC. Bello's lawyer said this guy would like to go to Saudi Arabia for Umrah, and the EFCC guy didn't say anything. The EFCC lawyer, he didn't object. So it tells you that there must have been a meeting before that court sitting. Let's put that by the way. What I see here is price fixing. The pricing of fuel, petroleum products. Before yesterday, what we saw was just a 6% increase in the price of crude. When our people here wanted to increase, they went as far as 15%, making 9% extra profit for them, on top of the massive profits that they have. I've been saying it here that the price of fuel here doesn't reflect the reality on the ground. It's way too high. You shouldn't be buying at the rate that we are buying.
So you mean it should be lesser than what we're
far
buying?
Lesser than this. It moved
even with the whole subsidy removal and the like.
Yes, it moved from 62 to 66. That's around 4%, and they did 15%. Now 66 to 70, another money. Today, trust me, for the end of the day, because of what Trump is doing. All of this is on Trump. I should say something. Can you pick this call? Or I want to say something.
Let's take the call. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Honorable Chibewan.
Oh, good morning, Benga Mairo. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Benga Mairo from Apata. Quick one.
All right.
The only thing I want to talk about that affected me, that's even affecting me now, is the issue of the hike in the price of fuel.
Sorry about
because I'm telling you, it's only, like yesterday when I was going to office, I almost went to like 3 or 4 filling stations to see which one you be at reduction price and reduce price. So the thing is, bringing up new refinery will not ease the tension. And whatever English Mr. Sonny has spoken, the woman selling her car in the market, we never understand. But what we want is number one, availability, and second thing is the reduction in the price. When you are buying at 735, you are even thinking that it will go to as high as come down to as high as 500 naira. But now here we are. As I see any report that is still going up, well, there is a song that says standing with the meeting at Babaloke. This thing is killing and it's not too good or not. Thank you very much and God bless.
All right, thank you so much, Benga Mary. Don't worry, Mr. Sonny will be on Agbeya with Magbe. So I'm sure he's going to speak in the language
if Mr. Trump keeps firing these rhetorics and sending troops into the Middle East, the prices are going to go up. You said something that Nigeria has crude, yet we keep buying at this particular rate. That is happening simply because the government is treating Nigerians like outsiders. In other countries where they have fruit, they do not sell to their citizens at the rate they sell to outsiders. But in my home country, the federal government of Nigeria is selling crude to Dangote at the same rate they are selling to people from Colombia.
Let's go. That's all we have. Court grant Yaya Bello request to attend 2026.
Simply because the EFCC said yes.
The EFCC is prosecuting the former governor over alleged money laundering to the tune of 80.2 billion allegations, with Bello denied when he was arraigned before the court. Agbeya Agbe hopefully would have time to discuss that extensively. Thank you so much for your time.
It is always an honor
on the show today. Thank you so much, Oyo State. Thank you so much, Ibado, for joining us. This is the weekend wrap-up of Perspectives Unlimited. Chukwemeka Munachiso and the team would be here tomorrow morning at exactly 8 o'clock on the round table. Up next is AM Sport for the sport lovers. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. God bless you. Good morning.
Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.
Not just another